Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we are going to talk about upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. We'll talk a little bit about the crazy wildfires and the horrible smoke that has been blanketing Western Washington lately. A little bit about how it seems many people in Western societies are very disconnected from nature. That kind of follows along from the wildfire story. Then I have a box opening, a cool gift. Well, I don't know, maybe a cool gift from a viewer, something that I got in my P.O. box today. And then, of course, we will close everything out with your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. So let's get going. All right, upcoming videos. What can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays? Well, I just recorded a first impressions video for a brand new blend, one that has not been on the market for very long. It is Seattle Pipe Club's Give Me Liberty, part of their signature series. This is a straight Virginia crumble cake plug, something. You can rub it out, but you could cut it too if you want. People yelled at me when I said that Hogshead was a plug, even though that's what Seattle Pipe Club said it was. This, I'm gonna say, is probably a crumble cake. An interesting straight Virginia because it's comprised mostly of old belt red Virginias from North Carolina. And a lot of times when we get Virginia blends, many of the Virginias are from Africa or from Brazil. And even though you think of places like North Carolina as being or Virginia for that matter, as being sort of the main producers of Virginia pipe teas, we don't often get huge quantities of them in blends, but this is comprised mostly of old belt red Virginias from North Carolina. So I did the first impressions video. I was quite intrigued. It was very, very interesting. I wasn't expecting, I've been saying that a lot lately with first impressions videos, but for a straight Virginia, it didn't taste exactly the way I thought it would, and I'm pleasantly surprised, or I was pleasantly surprised. So check out that video. That will be posting this Wednesday. I am also doing some pre-production on the next Timeless Style video. These videos take me a lot longer than a typical pipe blend review, and so I'm trying to get ahead of the work a little bit, and I've been waiting for things to arrive so I could do kind of a little opening scene or sequence for this video. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to. I think you guys are gonna really like it. And to give you a hint, now this is not the thing that the video is going to be about, but it is related to what the video is going to be about. We'll see if you can guess from this. Any guesses? Let me know in the comments below. And then, of course, we're still supposed to do the Bark River Aurora video. We should be doing that pretty soon, but I have so many things that I'm trying to get done on this channel. So as time allows and as scheduling permits, we will have the Bark River Aurora Scandi in CPM 3V knife review. And then, of course, now it has been changed to every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on Stuff and Things Plays at noon Pacific time. The Elden Ring series is continuing with our good friend Kevin the Kurt. So please, watch it all. Why not? Some of you may have heard in the news recently that there have been a lot of wildfires in Western Washington, or Eastern Washington for that matter, just Washington in general. I live in Washington, northwestern Washington, and there were fires in the Cascade Mountain Range, fires in eastern Washington, fires further south, fires just directly east of us. There were no fires really close to where we are, but the smoke was so bad. And for it to be occurring this late in the year was pretty unheard of for us. Typically the fire season ends in September usually in Washington. But to get into the middle of October, we basically hadn't had any rain since June, which is crazy. Our summers are dry. Everyone thinks that it rains all the time in Western Washington, but our summers are usually quite dry, actually probably even drier than a place like New York or other places in the Northeast. But it does rain a bit during the summer. We had less than half an inch from June to the middle of October, And that was pretty much the driest period that I think has ever been recorded in Western Washington. So it was kind of crazy, and these fires were just kind of billowing out of control. The smoke was so bad. I don't know if you've ever seen that airnow.gov website where it shows you your air quality. There is green, good, yellow, maybe unhealthy for sensitive individuals. Orange is moderate, more unhealthy for sensitive individuals. And if you are not sensitive, you probably shouldn't do strenuous activity outdoors. Red is just unhealthy, and so you should be spending as much time indoors and out of the smoke as possible. Purple is very unhealthy. We were in the very unhealthy portion of that little grade system for days at a time. And of course, I work outside every single day. And so I was out in it every single day. And it got to be something that you don't even really notice at first. I mean, you notice the smoke in the air, you can smell it, you can taste it, but you're like, it's probably fine. And then as the days sort of piled one on top of each other, I started seeing just like my lung capacity went way down. I started having a constant headache all the time. I started coughing. My eyes were getting irritated and watering. And I just felt run down and horrible for days at a time. And I think I saw a news article somewhere that basically they measured it in Seattle, but just Western Washington had the worst air quality of any place in the world, which is kind of crazy if you think of some of the super polluted places in China and other places like that. So it was so annoying, and I was just praying for rain for the longest time, or for the weather patterns to change so some maybe offshore winds could come in and blow the smoke away. And finally, yesterday, it finally started raining, and the air quality has gotten much better. And hopefully it's going to keep raining and put out a lot of these fires, because my God, that was one of the longest weeks I think I have ever had trying to work outdoors and just constantly inhaling this wood smoke, which is not good for you. Not good for you at all. Thank God for the rain. And that sort of brings us to the next very quick point of discussion. I'm just going to mention this very briefly, but as all this was happening in northwestern Washington, I mean, everyone knew it was happening. They would read about it on the news. You could see it. I mean, you couldn't see the sun much of the time, or you'd see just this weird red disk. You couldn't see the blue sky, even if it was supposedly a clear day. There was just this pall of smoke over everything. Just viewing distance was very, very much reduced. But a lot of people didn't seem to even really think it was that big of a deal, because most people aren't outside very often. It struck me as well when I was in Austin, where people, it would be close to 100 degrees and we were walking around outside the whole time doing things. And then you go and talk to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of hot, but they're inside all day in air conditioning. And so many people in our Western society now are inside all day in climate-controlled buildings. And it's always weird, and I always have to remind myself of the fact that I am outside a majority of the time. Like, I get up, I go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I am outside the entire time until I come home around 5. And I am very aware of the seasons. I'm very aware of the weather. If it's raining, if it's cold, if it's freezing, if there's snow, if there's smoke in the air. And it makes me feel, this isn't me, trying to say I'm better than anyone else, but it's just a different, it's a different perspective that I have than I think most people in Western society has, or have, that I guess you feel a little bit more connected. It sounds like really annoying and new age, but like connected to the earth. Because I feel the days getting longer. I feel the days getting shorter. I feel, that first chill that you get in the air, which we finally experience now, when fall comes around. And I don't know, I think that's a good thing. I think that maybe that's something that people are missing. If you spend all your days working in an office and you never are really out experiencing the natural world, I would feel really disconnected from things. And so I guess the only reason I bring this up is because even if you're not working outside like I am every day, maybe try to spend as much time outdoors as humanly possible. And I know for a lot of people it isn't easy to do that, but try it and see how that changes your outlook on things. I think it makes you a happier person. I think. It seems to work for me, in spite of the fact that I was just complaining about being out in the smoke for a week. But yeah, just try out. Try it out. Get outside. I think you'll like it. But now, gang, let me grab it. We have a box. This comes from a very generous viewer. They alerted me on, I think it was on YouTube, that a package was coming to my P.O. box. Let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. A sizable box. Sounds like we have some tins in here. Let's see, where can I slice into this baby? Using my Bark River Ultralight Bushcrafter in CPM 3V with a desert ironwood handle. Beautiful knife, very beautiful. I carry this with me pretty much all the time now. Inside, we have a very attractively presented note with a wax seal on it. I'm not gonna look inside right now. I wanna open this note. That's very cool. I don't wanna break the wax seal, but I guess it's glued down too. So in fact, I will use my knife. And it's a very thick envelope too. Am I cutting the envelope or am I cutting the note? Okay, I think I'm just on the envelope. There we go. Inside, on some very nice textured paper. Oh my Lord. Look at how this is presented. Obviously that's not handwritten, I would hope, because otherwise that is insane. But really cool printing on here. This is very long. Sir Bradley of STUFFandTHINGS. I'm a tattoo artist and snake breeder in the Pittsburgh, PA area. I've been watching your show for years and appreciate your passion in the areas of your interest, of which we have the pipe hobby in common, as well as some others. I originally mentioned sending this tin of East Farthing, yes, for you to review, as I have found it very enjoyable and overlooked by the hobby. I found this blend while on the hunt for a Frog Morton replacement, and while it is definitely not the same, for some reason it scratches a similar itch for me. Why, I can't put my finger on it. So he's gonna mention some of the other tins in here, so I wanna keep that as a secret. If you ever want to get tattooed and feel like traveling to the Pittsburgh area, I'd gladly tattoo you for free for years of entertainment. Wow. There's also an old school tobacconist about an hour from my shop called Allegheny, is that how you pronounce that? Allegheny Smokeworks that could be some cool video content for you, as they have a wide selection of harder to come by stuff. I hope all is well on your end and wish you a happy holiday season. Fellow piper, Zach Zanoni. Zanoni, I hope? I know it's Zach. That is so cool. Now that I know that he's a tattooist, this might be human skin, and he might have tattooed this message onto here. Hopefully that's not the case, but you know, if so, I'm impressed. A free tattoo. I'll have to consider that. I may always get another tattoo, and there's certain things that have come into mind that I thought I might want to try, and he's got some cool cards here. Zach Zanoni, tattoo artist, commissioned tattoo and artwork. He's got a Facebook, Zach Zanoni Tattoo. Very cool. So if you are in the Pittsburgh area, check him out. Looks like he has some cool designs on the back there. It's hard to get it in the light. All right, so he mentioned East Farthing. Thank you, Zach, by the way. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, Lord. Holy crap. Okay, so first of all, here is the East Farthing. This is a blend that many people have asked me to try in the past, and I will certainly do a video on this in the near future. Very cool. Wow. Getting some aromas from inside this box. We also have a tin of Nat Sherman. Classic and refined English blend, full body with natural bouquet, non-aromatic. This is Nat Sherman 536. Right there, very cool. Blend number 536. We also have, okay. This is getting kind of crazy. So this is Esoterica Tilbury. This is a blend I have never had. So I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Very cool. A broad cut, extra mature Virginia. We also have, look at this. Oh boy. A giant 8-ounce bag of Peace Haven by Esoterica. That is very cool. It seems like maybe this had been opened at one point because it is taped down. So it's not a full 8 ounces, I don't think. Was this originally 8 ounces? I think these bags are 8 ounces. Wow, that smells, I don't know. I've never had Peace Haven. I'm trying to remember, it might be an aromatic. I'm definitely smelling what seems like maybe even cherry in there. I'm not sure. And then we also have, oh wow, this one kind of opened itself, it looks like. Part of a bag of St. Ives, also by Esoterica. So very cool. Hard to get these blends. It almost kind of sucks doing videos on them because people get frustrated, like, I can't get these blends, why are you talking about them? But of course I'm gonna try these, and of course we will do videos on these in the near future. So we've got St. Ives, we've got Peace Haven, and we've got Tilbury by Esoterica. And then we have Nat Sherman blend number 536, and we have good old East Farthing, one that many people have wanted me to try. So thank you so much, Zach. Very generous and very cool to get these blends, and you will see these on the channel in the near future. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you would like to ask me a question and you would like me to answer it on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at @SATBradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You can also send me questions via Patreon if you are a Patreon supporter and go to the front of the line, or you can leave comments on my YouTube videos. I try to go through all of them, I read all of them, and I pick out questions, comments, and feedback from there. So first, via YouTube, we have a question from Ortzi Landa Rubio. They say, have you noticed any changes in the Peterson Irish Flake recently? I don't know if that's because I'm now more used to its taste, but for me this blend is a little bit less bold and with less licorice aniseed flavor. Thank you very much for your answer. I haven't had it really recently, but I definitely had it since they changed from the square tin to the round tin. And I did notice a slight difference. I think I did a revisited episode on that. You guys will probably remember even better than me, and I probably mentioned that, yes, there was a slight difference. I still really enjoy the blend, though. Or no, I did just have it recently. Yeah, I've had a tin for like a couple weeks. Yeah, it's still good. I don't have a square tin to compare it to, but it still tastes like Peterson Irish Flake, but maybe not exactly the same as the older version. Next, we have feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from Fist of Belial. Burley is perfect for fall. McFadin H.H. Burley Flake and Haunted Bookshop being my favorite Burley blends. And yes, and you'll hear many people mention Haunted Bookshop when you mention favorite Burley blends. I was talking about 3 Burley blends for fall. We did a video on that last week, but I also mentioned it on the Sunday Stuff and Things. Bernard Rigo says, I completely agree that the consumer should pay for music. Not only that, but buying super high fidelity recordings can only be obtained through purchase. I can best appreciate the intricate details of great classical music recordings by purchasing DSD files. We are so fortunate to be living in a time when we can hear recordings produced 70 years ago that will knock your socks off. Hearing a classic recording such as Stokowski's conducting of Mahler's Second Symphony on DSD is an experience not to be missed. Interesting. I've never heard of the format DSD. I should look into that. This is from Sound Dude. I regularly listen to XM radio, so obviously last week I was talking about how I think you should pay for music. if you like music, you should purchase the album, whether it be digital or physical. Give the artist some of that money instead of just using streaming services. You can use streaming services if you want, whatever. But if you find something you like, I do suggest actually paying for it because, and I know you pay for your streaming service, but paying for the album or the song because the artist gets more of that money. Sound Dude says, I regularly listen to XM radio, mainly channel XMU. I can stream XM as well. Occasionally I will stream KEXP. I've heard of that. I don't know XMU. Spotify kills me with ads and bad algorithms. I rely on XM to get exposed to new bands. If I hear a band I like, I buy the CD. Yep, I agree. Support artists by buying their music. Long ago, I worked as a DJ in an FM radio station. The music business is kind of slimy, and the young artist starting out is often on the bad end of the business. By the way, chocolate is nahuatl, Aztec word, not Italian. Yes, so that's a correction that I have to make. In the last episode, I was musing about latte, meaning milk in Italian, and then chocolat, maybe meaning cocoa latte or cocoa milk, and then saying that chocolate milk was redundant because you were saying cocoa milk. But many people pointed out to me, and I appreciate it, that it is originally an Aztec word, and I fell victim to an easy mistake to make if you're looking at languages and being like, oh, this word is similar to this word, so they must be related somehow. The fact that there is an L-A-T-E at the end of chocolate, which is very similar to L-A-T-T-E, which is latte, meaning milk in Italian. I was like, oh, well, that must mean, I knew that chocolate came from the Aztecs, maybe not necessarily the modern word, but I figured that because the Aztecs basically made chocolate drinks way back in the day. Anyway, I assumed that chocolate, our modern word chocolate, was a European version of whatever the Aztec word was originally, and that the L-A-T-E did have some relation to the L-A-T-T-E, but I was wrong, and many people pointed that out, so thank you. Next, from Transylvanian Hanger, cheers Bradley. I'm essing some aged G&H Dark Flake unscented right now while thinking about the Spotify vinyl topic. I use Spotify and buy vinyl. It all depends on how it's used, I guess. Spotify can be a great way for artists to gain publicity and reach users who will hopefully buy their products. I don't use Spotify's suggestion part and only search for music I want to hear when I'm looking for a specific artist. When I like it, I buy the vinyl. Another reason for me to not use Spotify exclusively is the sound quality. At first, I thought it was an audiophile thing, but I find the quality considerably worse on Spotify compared to vinyl, CD, etc. Yeah, and a lot of people were mentioning how they use Spotify to find music, and definitely, I'm not trying to come down on anyone for using streaming services. I was just saying that I feel it is a good thing to purchase music when you can. Okay, so here's another one from Fist of Belial. Would love a video on your music collection and vinyl setup. I don't have a ton of physical, even though I mentioned how I like to buy vinyl. Like I said, I have a stack maybe like that wide of vinyl. Usually when I buy, it is often a digital version of the music because sometimes you can't get it on vinyl. And I don't have a really nice turntable or anything. I've been looking into that. I would like to get a better setup for actually, I just don't know where I'd have the room for that. But my brother has especially been getting into, he got a new receiver and a new turntable and new speakers, and it sounds really cool. And I would like to upgrade my equipment as well. But expense, turntables are really expensive, like frighteningly expensive for good ones, and space might limit that, but maybe in the future. Next, from AA, regarding video posting times, I was actually just thinking the other day that since you started posting the Sunday Stuff and Things videos earlier on Sunday, I have not been watching them as frequently, or do so later in the week once it hits me that I never watched it. I think it's because I don't typically have 20 to 30 minutes to sit down and watch the whole thing until later in the day once my daughter goes to sleep, but by the time I do, the video sometimes gets buried down lower in the YouTube recommendations. I personally prefer the later time for the Sunday video, but the Stuff and Things Plays videos, it doesn't really matter since I tend to watch them later on anyway when I can binge a few. And yes, thank you, AA. A lot of people were saying, what time, does it matter what time you're posting the videos? Because, it'll still be there. But yes, it definitely does matter because when more people are watching or when more of my audience are watching and that video is put front and center in front of my viewers, then they are more likely to be able to see it, and it does get kind of buried if it's already been on YouTube for a while. Next, 3 Burley Fall Blends feedback. That was the video I posted last Wednesday. FS Mora said, "Heck yeah, Virginia's in the summer, Burley in the fall, heavy English blends in the winter. Now my backy appreciation schedule is properly seasonified." From Paul Subrit, "Great video as always. The Solani blend is a must for anyone wanting a good Burley. Peterson too. I have yet to try Haunted Bookshop. You should. HH Burley Flake from McFadin is a great one too. I also enjoy Burley London Blend from MB. McFadin, I'm assuming. I'm not sure if it's for everyone since it has an obvious chocolat topping on it, but it's not gloopy like a Cavendish blend, and the topping accents the Burley flavor instead of masking it, in my opinion." Nice. Thank you for that. CS Sparks B56. "Love the picks. Solani Aged Burley Flake is still my favorite all-time Burley blend." Yeah. "But I long to recapture the feeling I got from that first 10 years ago. I could say the same thing about C&D's Briar Fox. HH Burley Flake is decent too. There are several people mentioning that they think Solani has changed and it's not as chocolatey anymore. I need to get a tin soon, and I will try to get a tin soon and do a revisited on that." Next, from Nikos 1974. "Solani Aged Burley Flake has changed." Oh yes, as I just said, in 2022. "I think the topping is now just licorice and no longer cocoa. Also, it uses white burleys. Have not tried it yet. HH Old Dark Fired is another perfect cold weather S. Enjoyed this video." So yes, thank you, Nikos 1974. And like I said, I will try a recent tin of Solani to see how it is. Nick Papageorgio says, "Great video as always. Are there any Burley-based blends that either have a topping casing that you like or perhaps a Burley blend that has Cavendish and or Virginia?" I think the best example of that, well, I think almost all of these Burley blends that I mentioned do have a little bit of a topping, even Peterson Irish Flake. But Solani, I think, was probably my favorite that does have a little bit of a discernible topping. Chris Portislander, I loved cigars before I loved pipes, and both Aged Burley Flake and Haunted Bookshop are 2 of my personal favorites. ABF is what I recommend to cigar essers who want to try a pipe. It is the nuttiness we enjoy, but it is distinctly pipe tea, not just a cigar rolled into a pipe. Would like to try Irish Flake once I'm able to get some." So that's a good recommendation for people who are coming from cigars to pipes. Thank you so much for all the feedback, the comments, the questions. Please keep them coming. They are much appreciated. Thank you very much. But now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. There is a link in the description box below to our Patreon if you would like to support the channels, and it is much appreciated. It helps pay for the fancy camera that is filming this video, the lights that are shining upon me, accoutrement that I buy to produce the videos. It really just helps things go, and it really makes it a lot easier to make these videos for you every week. And every week we like to thank those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Kirk Crompton, Glenn, Jason Buckner, Gloria Phillips, MDoftheNorth, David Gaudreau, Nick Papageorgio, John Tice, Ryan McFadin, and Finn O'Hagan. And of course the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. Stolid and dependable Bob Magee, and rising from the ashes, Ashes of the Phoenix. And then we have to mention our Hall of Fame and our good departed friend, Peter Straub. There is also a super thanks button. Editor Brad here. We had a little snafu with the end of this video. It got corrupted and went away. So I will just say thank you so much for watching. Please check out the video that we will be posting this Wednesday about Seattle Pipe Club Give Me Liberty. Check out every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday the Stuff and Things Plays videos in the Elden Ring series. And thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, doing all that good stuff. And until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley, you've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.